Alright, hello. Welcome to my live stream. I'm gonna go ahead and get started now. As you can see on the screen over here, this way, I've got some new information about viewers and the chat and some recognition you can earn. So, yep. I'm gonna set like a 30-minute timer. We'll do a mini game then. Alright, last time when we left off I was working on these moving platforms, and there was one bug that I needed to fix, and I kind of came back to it in the middle of or later in the night and fixed that up. So I'll just demo what I ended up doing. It was a pretty simple fix. Rather than writing all my own code for the interpolation between the two nodes, I just decided to use the vector3.lerp, and that cleaned everything up. And so we can go ahead and put one of the moving, and then I saved it as a platform. Hi Dwellers Pinky, thanks for the comment. You look very nice today. I appreciate that. So I've got a prefab now for the first comment, and you'll see your score will update soon over here. It's going to be over here. There we go. Just went. So we've now got one of these moving platforms. And we can drag it somewhere into the world. Like that. Hi, I'm W2 Melvin's dad. Thanks for joining. You should be seeing your score update here soon too. Okay, so I was going to demo the moving platform I was working on last time. Put the character into here, and then we'll go ahead and run this scene, and you can see how the moving platform works. You can see it moves up, and then it's going to move over, and the player doesn't move with the platform yet, but that's a bug of the player movement rather than of the platform itself. And I actually have a solution in mind for that already. I'm just not focused on getting it done. And then the player does this sort of little kind of folly thing here. And that could be something I could tweak and fix up. But it just does that on a loop. And the system is pretty flexible, so I can do a lot of pretty cool things with it. So for example, I've got these nodes attached to the platform, and then the paths reference the nodes, and so I can move them around. Like if I wanted to have two separate things, I could have, let me add in another moving platform. So the first one, you can see it's going to end here, and so we want our other moving platform to start one block over, and then we're going to move around the nodes in this one. So currently node A is here, that's fine. Node B is up here though, and we want to move that somewhere else. So I'm going to move it down to here. And then node C is over here, and I want this to do like over to here. Okay, and then we'll see they'll each have their own little patrols that they go on, and it should all just work. See, they're doing their thing. That one's going to move over to there. It's going to go off screen. But then they'll come back. And everything is totally flexible on these guys. You can change where the points that they go between are at. You can change how long they wait at each platform or node or whatever. And you can change how long it takes to go from point A to point B, etc. So, moving platform system is done, and that's pretty powerful. So now I'd like to work on something else. So the thing I want to work on now is improving the, well, specifically I've got this story here called crouching, and this one will finish up the movement epic. That's what those are called. And that'll be a nice sense of accomplishment. I don't think I'll get through all these other things today. But the crouching is basically that I want to have an extra state in my jump state machine where when you press down on the jump button, you go into this sort of ready crouch, and then when you release it, that's when you do your jump. So I want to add a new state into that finite state machine, and then I'll need to draw a new picture and then switch between those pictures. And I plan to switch between the pictures using an animation controller. So I'm going to go back to the characters prefab and open the character prefab here. And I'm going to add a animation what's it called? (2D) animation. Okay, that's fine. You stick around for as long as you want to, and then maybe you'll still be around for the mini game. Gonna do a mini game in about 20 minutes here. Can potentially win some points. If you can't stick around though, that's fine. Animation rigging, I already have that. There's an Animator Controller here. I might not be able to add that onto a sprite object though. I wonder if that's the issue. The sprite renderer. Unity, Sprite, renderer, and animation. Okay, this looks like it could be a good little tutorial to follow. Introduction to Sprite animations. Sprite animations are animation clips that are created for 2D assets. There are various ways to create sprite animations. One way is to create them from a sprite sheet, a collection of sprites arranged in a grid. The sprites are then compiled into an animation clip that will play each sprite in order to create the animation, much like a flipbook. Sprite animations can also be created using the keyframe animation in Unity via the animation window. Creating sprite animations using animation sheets. Sprite sheets are images containing sequential sprites typically used for animation, much like a flipbook, while sprite atlases are images containing a collection of non-sequential sprites. Sprite atlases are created to pack as many sprites together in a single image in order to optimize 2D games. Sprites within a sprite atlas can be animated as well, but they are typically animated using keyframe animation. Because sprite sheets and sprite atlases are made up of multiple sprites, it's necessary to set the sprite mode to multiple to use the Sprite Editor and slicing tool to extract individual sprites from the sprite sheet. Oh, okay. Okay. So currently the placeholder character image just has this one picture of this guy, and we need it to be a multiple instead of that single. Okay, that just keeps trying to open it there. Okay, I changed the sprite mode to multiple. The options are single, multiple, and polygon. I guess that step is completed. In the project window, select the sprite image you imported into your project. This will bring up the inspector of the sprite sheet. Change the sprite mode from single to multiple. That's done. Click the Sprite Editor button to open a new window with the Sprite Editor. So we have where's the Sprite Editor button? Below? Oh, there it is. And then we want to slice it up. Okay, I'm gonna close the Sprite Editor and, oh, we lost our picture there. We're gonna have to fix that. Oh, I see I have a third viewer. Hello, third viewer. So you see the character is smaller and is no longer bound with the collision boxes I set up. That's because I went and changed the sprite here to be from 100 pixels per unit to 128. I don't know. That makes more sense to me to do a power of 2. So I'm going to go and change all of the boxes here to be appropriate. I should be able to select all of these and then scale it. Okay, that didn't exactly work, but we can fix the head and the left side. Actually, I strongly dislike that. I don't want the objects to be a different scale. I just want to go fix the collision boxes inside of them. It'll be a pain to do that, but oh well. All right. Those look a bit better. So I want to go mess with the picture now, the placeholder character guy. So it's in here in texture, placeholder character.png. Gonna open this back up with paint.net. And I'm gonna do an animation for when you're just standing normally. I'm gonna do an animation for when you're doing the crouch to get ready to jump. And then I'm gonna do like a falling animation. The animations are just gonna be single images right now. But I want to have the animation controller set up to be the way it should be. Yeah. So I'm going to resize this image. No, I'm going to resize the canvas. I'm going to anchor it on the left side here. I'm going to increase the width to 3 times this so I can have 2 more pictures in there. 256. What's 256 plus 128? Yes, I could do the math, but not anymore. Can't do math anymore. So now I'm going to copy this guy. I'm going to paste him into these other areas. Okay, so that way I have a frame of reference to draw from. I want them to all be kind of stacked at the right height. I shouldn't be trying too hard on this, but oh well. So I'm going to make a new layer on top of this, and I'm going to draw my new guy directly on top of this one. So this is going to be his back, and then he's got a first leg and a second leg. Alright, so this is him like kind of crouching down. I suppose maybe his back shouldn't be so long. Like if he's crouched down, you know. So this looks like kind of weird right now because I'm drawing the other guy on top of him. But it's because I want the bottoms, and basically I want him to have a relatively similar center and whatnot. So now I'll go into the background and I'll erase this other guy. You'll see here's just the guy crouching. Cool. And now I'm going to go draw the last guy. He's going to be falling. Kind of looks like he's falling, doesn't he? All right. Now, really, if I were actually gonna start animating my character, or drawing the sprites for the character, there'd be one sprite sheet for an idle animation. There'd be one sprite sheet for a walking left animation, a sprinting left, a walking right, and a sprinting right, and then there'd be one for jumping and for falling, and there'd be one for pushing against a wall to the right, there'd be one for pushing against a wall to the left, there'd be one for standing with only one foot on a platform and you're kind of unbalanced, and one for the left foot and then one for the right foot. And that'd probably be most of them. There'd be an animation for landing too. But this will suffice. Oh, I gotta collapse my layers down. So we'll do that and then save. Just save. Okay. Now back here in Unity, we can do what they were talking about. We can open up the Sprite Editor, put this here, and we can start to do slicing. So it says to we gotta choose multiple. Once you choose multiple, then you can do slice, and you can do we'll do grid by cell size, pixel size, 128, 128. And so then that automatically slices it up into three different keyframes or sprites or whatever you want to call them. Cool. Alright, we got just 1 minute till our mini game, so let's just go ahead and start getting it set up now. Okay, so the mini game we're gonna do this time is gonna be an unscramble mini game. So start paying attention if you're going to participate. Mini game. Unscramble. There's a C there. Alright. So pretty soon here I'm going to type a word into the chat and enter it, and whoever responds with the unscrambled word the fastest scores 500 points, okay? Okay. I'm gonna press enter soon, okay? Everyone get ready. Remember, the person who can respond the fastest gets 500 points with the unscrambled word. And go. No, it's not Riptide, it's Drulos Pinky. Wrong number of letters. There you go, you got it, MW2 Melvin's dad, good job. The word was Sprite. You said it twice, but I think you got the point. So, MW2 Melvin's dad moves up to the lead with the top number of points. Should update here in just a second. It's okay, Drew loves Pinky. We'll do another mini game here in another 30 minutes, okay? You'll have another chance to win. All right. So we use a slice tool here. That's shown in figure 3. It allows you to slice sprite sheets into individual sprites that can be used in sprite animations. Sprites that are meant to be used in animations are sometimes arranged in a grid-like manner and are better suited to be sliced using one of the manual slice operations. It's also worth noting that the artist... Alright, thanks for joining MW2 Melvin's dad. Have fun at basketball. It's also worth noting that the artist has purposely placed sprites evenly in a sprite sheet to allow the animation to play back smoothly. If they're not spaced evenly, it could result in a wobbly animation. That's why I drew them over one another. Alright. Press the slice button to reveal the slice drop-down menu and choose grid by cell count. They're using this picture. I used my own. And then now if we go and we look at this here, I want to save this. Do a save. Oh, I gotta click apply. So this, we gotta name these sprites. So this will be placeholder character underscore walk. We'll call this one placeholder character underscore crouch. Or maybe just jump. And this one is going to be called placeholder character underscore fall. So now that we've named them all, it saves it, and we can drop down this menu and we can see the individual ones here. Cool. Now we go into step 6, creating sprite animations from selected, what'd I do? No. Creating sprite animations from selected sprites. These newly sliced sprites can now be used individually within the project by dragging and dropping them into a scene. Multiple sprites can also be selected from the project window and then dropped into the scene at the same time. By doing so, Unity will automatically begin the process of adding an animator to the asset and the scene, Also create an animation clip from the selected sprites. I thought I fixed up these colliders, but I guess not. Unity can't add animation controller Maybe you can't have a sprite renderer and an animator controller. Hmm. This is frustrating. So, okay, kind of seems like there isn't an animator controller. Okay. So we'll give it a sprite renderer back to it. We'll choose this one. And then we'll add in animator. Then here in the animations, we'll create an animator controller. No? Okay. I guess not. I guess we'll make create just an animation. No, that's not really what I want either. No, I wanted to create an animator controller. I don't know why that didn't work the first time. Player animator controller. Okay. Man, that was frustrating. So we'll create a new state. We'll call this one idle. From here we'll have one that's like, well, let's not overdo this for now. We'll just call this one walk. This one's called crouch. And then we'll create a new one called fall. We'll make a transition from crouch to fall. Make a transition from walk to crouch, and then from fall back to walk. And then from any state we can go to fall. From fall we can go back to crouch when we do a double jump. Okay, this is what I was wanting to get to. So then we'll add in, we need to create some animations. So this one will be player walk. Animation player crouch. And then player fall. Maybe that's the wrong way to make those. Guess I go over here to the character. It says to begin animating character, create an animation clip. We'll do create. Player walk. Okay. We can click this to do preview. So just maybe as an example, we can add a keyframe here for the Y position. I don't know. Just kind of, I think he'll just kind of bounce a bit, maybe. Trying to get this to do the thing. I don't know how to get it to preview. Oh, we probably need to add the character into the scene to make it preview there, don't you think? player crouch. So now for the player crouch, because his head goes down a bit, I can record a keyframe. Turn off recording. Now I can turn this back off. And that's the player crouch animation. Okay. Now I can go and make one last animation for the player fall. I'm going to click the record again, go back to this scene, and now I'm going to change the things again. to the fall. Oh, it's time for another mini game. Gotta think of some different mini games. All right. Because I can't think of a better mini game, let's do the one we did last time. Let's do die bet. This time we're going to roll a D100 and see whoever gets the closest to the 100. All right, everyone, go ahead and put your vote into the chat now. What do you think the D100 is going to be? Anybody who's in the chat, tell me what you think it's going to be. Whoever's closest gets the points. All right, everyone start making your guesses in the chat. What's the D100 gonna be? $87. Drew Loves Pinky says 87. All right, let's do it. The answer was 11. Let's see who's the closest. All right, Drew Loves Pinky. Good job, Drew Loves Pinky. You were the closest. Good job, Drew Loves Pinky. There you go. Another 500 points for winning a mini game. Okay. Okay. So I'd say that's good for that animation. Now we go back to the animator and we'll see the player fall one there, but we'll just use it here and we'll delete this node. So now we'll have some issues with the transitions. They don't have anything set up, so right now the transitions are just going to be ignored, and we'll always just go to the walk animation. Creating sprite animations from selected sprites. Okay, I think we're past that point. Creating keyframe animations. Sprites can also be animated just like any other game object in Unity. Keyframes are points on an animation timeline that contain data about the game object, like its transform data. These keyframes indicate some sort of change in that data to produce an animation. When the animation plays, Unity interpolates the data from one keyframe to the next to play the animation. From the window menu, select animation. Dock the animation window behind the project window for ease of navigation. Select the sprite in the hierarchy. In the animation window, click on the animation clip drop-down menu and choose create new clip. Okay, we've done this. Unity uses automatic keyframing, meaning that once in animation mode, any movement applied to the game object in the scene view will be recorded in the animation. In the animation window, press the record button to do that. We've done that. In the scene view, move the game object to change its, yeah. Blending animations. Only one animation clip can play at a time in the editor. If there's a need to have the keyframe animation blend with the sprite sheet animation, use the layers feature in the animator window. Select the animator window from the window dropdown, dock it behind the project window for ease of use. The animator workspace can be moved by holding Alt plus left click and dragging. Okay. Notice that when the sprite sheet animation is selected, there are two states visible in the workspace. Each state represents an animation clip associated with the selected sprite. The orange state is known as the default state. It will play automatically when the game is active. The default state can be changed by right-clicking on another state and choosing Set as Default Layer State. Okay, so we still have a lot to learn about how the animator deal works. I've used this before, and I know there's a way that we can get function calls in here and stuff. I just don't know, like if we had this transition here. Okay. So I'm going and adding a key for these guys. I can do that. Because I don't want to move them from where they're at. But I want them to be recorded in the animation. And then now back in the animation, you can see all these have been recorded, which is cool. And then over at 1 second, we want to take another. Oh, we want to get everything. So we'll do that. Okay. So Unity trigger animation transition. So we'll do a trigger called onJump. No, we'll do a trigger called jump button down. No. Crouch. Jump. Land. So then we can set up this transition. We can do it on the condition of, this is from fall to walk. We do it on the condition of land. Okay, now we select this one, walk to play or crouch. We do this on the condition of crouch. From crouch to fall, we do on the condition of, nope, jump. And then to go from fall back to play or crouch, we do a jump. And then to go from any state to a fall, we'll have a new trigger called fall. Cool. So now I'm thinking that the character needs a script. So this will be a new script called, we'll put it into the folder character/scripts. Animations. And this one will be something like player animation trigger. And this thing has a private animator okay, and then it's got private string to walk trigger to walk trigger name. And then this next one is like to crouch trigger name to fall trigger name to jump trigger name. And then in the start function, actually we'll use awake. In the awake function, we'll do animator equals get component animator do private jump processor then from the jump processor we want to wait to get the jump state. Public jump state get jump state. No, this won't work. I'm gonna make an observer, which means I gotta go copy my observer stuff from my other project. But we'll do private void trigger walk. Just be like if animator does not equal null, set trigger Did I miss a semicolon somewhere? Yeah, this is where I missed a semicolon. So if we transition to grounded, that means we should call trigger, oh wait, crouch, fall, jump, walk. Trigger walk? I don't think that's what it was actually. I think it was land. Crouch, jump, land, fall. I don't know. Let's see if that works. So the animator is going through the walk animation. Oh, the problem was I didn't put the stupid script I made onto anything. Okay, cool. Got an error. Can't use get component for jump processor because it's not a mono behavior. So what we'll do instead is we'll get the do find all references. And here in the character movement class is what we want. Public jump processor get jump processor. So then the player animation trigger instead gets character movement, then calls .get jump processor on that. Now we're starting to run into timing issues between awake and start. That's interesting. Or just between awake, between objects that are on awake. Unity awake ordering. Okay, so association with other components should happen here in start. So this should be a start instead of an awake, actually. That's useful to know. Well, maybe this stuff doesn't need to be in start. You get the component, you just can't ask it for things yet. Yeah, that was something. Okay, so I've got the walk animation of falling. That is weird. Okay. Well, that is some level of progress, and I'm going to call that good for tonight. So let's do this. Accomplishments. Learned about sprite sheets and the Sprite Editor / slicer. Learned the difference between animations animators, and animator controllers. Learned how to set up triggers for transitions between animations in the controller. Drew some more sprites for crouch and fall animations. Moved observer pattern code over to this project. Next time, crouch when holding down button. Move to fall on release. Okay. I need to go to eat dinner, but there's a chance I might come back after dinner, so... Oh, I also learned about call order between awake and start. Leave, enter, component, communication to start. Okay. Because I really want to get this crouching done before the end of today, before the end of the sprint. I can let one of the epics roll over, but I shouldn't let both of them, especially since I just have this one story left in movement. Alright. Well, thank you for joining, those of you who joined. And as always, have a nice night.